specific in what they do, and they specialize, and I appreciate that. But and we're fine with having that many co-packers. It's more of that we don't want to have 2 to 3 to even 4 co-packers for one product, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I know. I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, I live that nightmare, where you're moving stuff around and, God forbid you have some safety or food safety issue, and now you got to figure out how to track all that back. I mean, it becomes a literal nightmare. And, I always said when I was back at Frito-Lay, I always said, hey, you have to consider all the hidden costs involved, because I always got to push to consolidate, right? Give me less. I don't want to deal with what we're making internally and they want to take it externally to co-pack. And, my advice was, hey, finance people I don't know if there's any finance people in the room, so I'm not talking negatively about finance people. Finance people are really good about getting stuff on paper, but the hidden costs are the things that are really difficult to explain to folks, and the risk of errors are really difficult to explain to folks when you're making those kinds of decisions. It really is, and I always said it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Yeah. There's going to be error because people are involved, and with co-packers, a lot of people on the front line that you don't know. You don't know how they're being trained. You don't know what kind of folks are handling the food that is going to go on a big brand, right? And it's a risk. And if you already have the equipment, you already have the assets. My argument was, if you already have the assets, why would you want to co-pack it? Why would you want to pay a toll fee?
Right.
And the counter to that's always, well, we don't want to deal with the people. We don't want to deal with the frontline risk and safety and things like that. And it's like, well, I get that, but is it worth taking the risk for a brand that the value of it is incalculable? So anyway, go on my soapbox there a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's all the questions I had. This was really, really helpful, Robert. I really appreciate you taking the time to walk us through this. I'm not sure, Clarissa.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, folks. And again, everything that I talked about on the dip side there and in the co-packers, that is all public information. And so, we didn't get into the process deeply. All that process information is online. So, there's nothing there that was confidential at all.
Yeah, Robert, this is Clarissa. Just one additional question. I think you alluded to it a little bit in your last response, but just wondering, what are some things we should keep in mind or watch outs we should keep top of mind as we're looking at potential co-manufacturers, co-packers?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great question. And I think that, the biggest one to me is you have to make sure that the food safety thing is totally locked down with anybody that you might choose. There can be no gaps there, because in today's regulatory environment, you just can't afford a hiccup, right? So that food safety thing's, to me, number one. Number two is just relationships, the trustworthiness between organizations, whoever you talk to. That's really, really important. And then you can get down to the cost, the productivity side. How are we going to work together? Is there going to be a toll fee? Or is it going to be, what's the financial arrangement? All those other things are really important. But to me, they're, third, fourth, fifth down the list until you can clear the other stuff first. And that's the only advice I would give y'all is make sure you're working with someone who's trustworthy and they really, really understand food safety. That's where I would start. And, the people that I talked about, personally, this is just my opinion, not opinion of Frito-Lay. It's not anything. It's just everyone I talk to you about, I think I would put, in my personal opinion, right there, those are people that know what they're doing, they're trustworthy, and they would do a good job.